Hey everyone, Social Solipsist here for another episode of 52 and 52, and this week I am taking a look at Nuclear Throne. If you're wondering why the video started out with just a long run of the intro there, I wanted to let the music play a little bit so you could hear what it's like, because amongst other things that this game does really well, it has some pretty great music, and that persists throughout the game. Nuclear Throne is a game that again falls into a category of a couple of others that I've talked about in the past, where it was something I followed in development and then proceeded to not buy or play for a very long period of time, up until very recently when I picked it up under some circumstances, and went and started to play it this week. I've only gotten into it a little bit, but thus far I am really enjoying it. It's a sort of a twin-stick shooter, people call it a roguelike, but again, I've mentioned how much I dislike the misuse of that term, so I won't call it that. It's basically a twin-stick shooter with some exchangeable weapons and things like that. You go through levels and get warped from essentially floor to floor as you clear out a level. And there's a lot of stuff that they did really well here. I already mentioned the music, which is pretty excellent. It just feels good, generally speaking, both with controller and on mouse and keyboard. Some twin-stick shooters on PC, for some reason, have really poor mouse and keyboard support, but this one seems to do it quite well, along with the usual controller support as well, if you choose that route. A lot of the design-wise, the game has a lot of really inventive stuff. You know, the enemies are interesting. The weapons that you pick up are not all just, you know, generic nothing, except for, you know, the first few of machine gun and heavy machine gun and rifle or whatever, you know, equivalent type things. But they work in a lot of interesting stuff there. Basically, you go through the levels, killing everything. Once you clear out a level, a portal opens and warps you to the next floor. You can pick up new weapons, health pickups, things like that. And it is definitely difficult. That needs to be stressed. It is not an easy game by any means. Most of the characters start off with, you know, most of the characters only start off with 2 or 3 kind of major hits that they can take. Some of them do have various special abilities that can help them dodge or deflect or whatever else. The character that I'm playing here has the deflect that you will see me use not very well, not very successfully, but it is in there. And generally speaking, it just plays really nicely. Graphically, I actually am a big fan of what they did with the art style here. I think, you know, pixel art can go pretty far south as far as both design-wise and just sort of how it turns out. I don't really have a good way to phrase that, but it can turn out pretty poorly sometimes. But both design-wise and art-wise, I think they've done a very good job here. Unfortunately, one of the side effects of the pixel art style and the high motion gameplay is what I can only refer to as sort of a jittering effect, that you know, the gameplay doesn't look super smooth. I'm not sure what frame rate this actually runs at. I think it's only 30, but I could be wrong on that. I've only put in maybe a half an hour. But there is a bit of weird jitter that you may be able to see a little bit in the video, although some of that may be artifacting as well. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the game. You know, it's definitely something I'm going to put a bit more time into. Not something I can sit down and play for, you know, hours on end, but certainly something I can, you know, play a few rounds of for 20 minutes when I need something to do. And drop off and come back to it another time. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with it thus far. It does retail for only, I think, $12 right now. I think it started out at 15, so you can hardly complain about the price either. even when it's not on sale, and it does often go on sale. So yeah, I highly recommend it if it's sort of your thing. If you're into the whole twin stick slash bullet hell type of thing, pick it up. And yeah, well, that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.